From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Peter Murphy begins now.
Good evening. Supreme Court Judge Gregory Geeson has been found guilty of assault and emotional abuse or intimidation. Appointed to the state's highest court in 2017, Justice Geeson today sat on the other side as the guilty verdict was delivered. His future as a judge now up in the air.
From Supreme Court Judge to the other side of the law, Justice Gregory Geeson has been found guilty of assault and emotional abuse, with his future career now in question.
Will you be stepping down from the bench of the Supreme Court?
The court heard in July allegations Geeson had assaulted a woman by grabbing her, striking and pushing her into a mantelpiece. The 63-year-old pleaded not guilty to all charges, accused of committing the crimes over the course of 9 months in 2023. Victorian Magistrate Susan Wakeling overseeing the case after it was found that no Tasmanian magistrate could. Handing down her decision today, she found the woman had been a reliable witness. Also describing Geeson's evidence as contrived and implausible, but did admit the victim has difficulties recalling events on the night of the assault due to concussion. Tasmanian politicians now calling for his removal and for harsher measures to be in place.
He needs to be removed immediately.
So far in Tasmania, we've never had a process to deal with a situation like this. We are looking at establishing a process.
While found guilty, the question remains, will he still be a judge? The state government says it has plans to progress the Judicial Commission's bill, which would establish a fair and transparent process for gathering information and appropriately handling complaints in relation to judicial officers in Tasmania. Rebecca Gayden-Harris at 7 Tasmania News.
The Prime Minister has visited Hobart, announcing nearly $200 million in funding to secure the nation's Antarctic research in Tasmania. The investment going towards upgrading ageing port facilities for the icebreaker RSV Noyina, but the state government will have to pick up the tab for any cost blowouts.
A brighter outlook for Antarctic research in Tasmania. The Prime Minister pledging $188 million to upgrade Hobart's port for the RSV Noyina icebreaker vessel.
This is about jobs here in Tasmania, but it's also about making sure that Tasmania continues to be the centre of being a gateway for the Antarctic.
The investment spread over 4 years, going towards redeveloping Mac Wharf 6, providing certainty for industry over the next 30 years.
The scientists, the research specialists, those that supply the Noyina and other vessels that come to the Antarctic Gateway. It means so much.
But the state government will need to cover the expenses of a refuelling facility, lease arrangement and cost overruns. The port's current facilities falling into disrepair over the years, putting the sector at risk of being shipped over Bass Strait.
Yes, Western Australia wanted to pinch our port. We wouldn't let that happen.
The wharf redevelopment, one of the key requirements for the state government to receive $240 million for the Macquarie Point Urban Renewal Project. Anthony Albanese still refusing to grant a GST exemption for it.
GST is something that's done by the Treasury. To Treasury, it's the Howard government legislation, not our legislation.
The Environment Minister confident in the new funding agreement after a previous dispute with Tasports.
We did think the initial proposal from Tasports was too expensive. It was not good value at that time.
Construction of the new wharf is expected to start next year. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
5 GPs have signed on to Tasmania's rapid response team to improve primary care in rural areas. The doctors will be deployed to where they're needed most, including when there are sudden or unplanned practice closures.
We look at the individual circumstances of that practice, with the end game being what is a long-term sustainable solution for that particular area. This is a really important step for safeguarding the Tasmanian health system.
The GPs will be based in various locations around the state, including Hobart, Launceston, Cambridge and Latrobe. A snapshot of rental affordability across Australia has highlighted the scarcity of houses that our essential workers are facing when looking for accommodation. Tasmania isn't immune, with research revealing there were just 19 affordable houses for rent across the state.
Those that are moving to Launceston, either from interstate or from other parts of the state, are also finding it challenging in actually finding rental accommodation, and also finding that if they do source the accommodation, that the rental prices are very high.
Anglicare Australia says essential workers such as nurses, teachers and firefighters are being priced out of the rental market. Meantime, a $65 million luxury hotel is opening its doors in Hobart as a globally recognised brand launches in Tasmania for the first time. The new build has been labelled a vote of confidence, bolstering Hobart's tourism sector after the quiet winter months.
Formerly a homewares store, now Hilton's latest venture. The brand recognised around the world, opening its first hotel in Tasmania.
The holiday season is already picking up. We're really looking forward to welcoming all of our corporate and leisure guests.
Located a stone's throw away from Hobart's waterfront, the luxury building boasts 206 rooms, including 80 deluxe suites.
We've also got a large number of interconnecting rooms whereby families and groups can take the opportunity and house up to 8 guests in one room.
Offering a range of amenities.
We're opening with a restaurant, a bar, meeting facilities, a large spacious heated indoor pool, gym and sauna.
With the name alone a major drawcard for interstate and overseas visitors.
The Hilton brand has got its own database, it's a worldwide database, which we know there's a percentage will only travel to Hiltons.
For the City Council, the new arrival means bolstering the state's tourism sector.
We have 1.6 million visitors to the city every year. And this really is a vote of confidence in the city and in the tourism sector.
Also, it's really important that the tourism industry in Hobart and the broader state continue to innovate and introduce new products. It keeps it fresh, it makes people come back.
The hotel seen as an investment into Tasmania's future.
The more we build, the more quality infrastructure we have in place, the more popular we become.
Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's Premier insists the government isn't pulling the plug on a pre-commitment gaming card as part of its suite of gambling reforms. But the Greens, along with independent MLC Meg Webb, are raising concerns whether some parts of the scheme will be watered down.
Will you reaffirm your complete commitment to implementing the Pokies card with all agreed provisions in the timeframe that's been promised?
Jeremy Rockcliffe telling Question Time the government is following through with its commitments on gambling reforms from the last election.
We are working through the mandatory card-based system for electronic gaming machines. We are working with the monitoring operator Max Gaming to implement player card gaming.
Consultation by the Gaming Commission is currently underway to guide the next steps for the policy. A first-of-its-kind collaborative technology hub has switched on in Launceston, bringing together some of the state's best tech minds under the one roof. ReadyTech's Centre of Excellence hopes to improve the quality of the local industry and keeping developing professionals closer to home.
The concept of the Centre of Excellence is a hub of learning and skills development for the skills that we need of the future, which are cyber, AI and data science.
State-of-the-art work. I can work with AI, working on new things as they come out, but I can do that in an office in my own backyard.
The company plans to work alongside UTAS and TASTAFE to foster more entry-level opportunities. A slice of cake to celebrate the role anaesthesia has had on modern medicine. Hobart's health professionals commemorating the first successful demonstration of diethyl ether and revolutionising surgery 178 years ago. The sweet treat giving them energy as they were put through their paces through a simulation-based practical training learning vital life-saving actions while under pressure.
People can actually practice what they need to do in crisis situations in a learning environment.
The training also aiming to foster leadership, teamwork and communication skills. There's a call for automated external defibrillators to become as common as fire extinguishers in our homes and workplaces. St John Ambulance Tasmania says AEDs play an important role in saving lives, but there's still a long way to go in improving public access to them.
Restarting a heart saves lives. Automatic external defibrillators, or AEDs, play a crucial role in rebooting the heart after it has stopped working. Sudden cardiac arrest impacts more than 26,000 Australians each year, and the early minutes are crucial.
And we know that 9 out of 10 of those people won't survive that cardiac arrest. And that's because every minute that a person does not receive life-saving critical interventions, their chances of surviving decrease by 10%.
St John Ambulance is calling for AEDs to become as commonplace as fire extinguishers in the home and office. The portable devices can check heart rhythm and deliver a potentially life-saving shock. New research reveals 96% of Australians believe AEDs are important in public locations.
We hope that no one will ever have to use an AED, but you want to know if that happens, that one's available.
And while 82% of Australians believe the devices are necessary to have in the home, only 1% of those surveyed had actually purchased one.
AEDs are a really important part of the chain of survival, but so is quality CPR. The more you understand how to do CPR, the safer the community will be as well.
Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
A Hobart waterfront icon has finished a $3 million refurbishment just in time for summer. Muir's officially opening up its new kelp bar and the upper deck. Co-owners Will and Jude are hoping the warmer months will bring in a flurry of new customers in addition to the restaurant downstairs.
You can't let a business get too run down, especially when we're on a spot like this. We really felt the need to help showcase Tasmania.
The pair celebrating the venue's 50th anniversary alongside many well-known Tasmanian faces. Hundreds of Tasmanians have ditched the car today, instead opting for a bike on Ride to Work Day. A new challenge also launching, encouraging people to walk, pedal, ferry or bus as part of their regular commute to get more cars off the road.
Pedal power in full force this morning.
Yeah, I've been doing it for quite a few years and yeah, you can see from the numbers at the Ride to Work breakfast that it continues to grow.
I came down the South Hobart Rivulet and then Campbell Street Cycleway, so we were separated from the traffic most of the way, which was great.
This year's Ride to Work event seeing many Tasmanians swap tyres for wheels, a hobby that the UTAS Environment Society hopes more people will take up. Today, launching its Commute for Climate Challenge.
We still have a huge carbon output in terms of our transportation. So this challenge is hopefully going to get more people thinking about that and thinking about their footprint.
Running for a month, the group's challenging people to log how they made it to work without a car.
Even if you just do one commute, one bus ride, one walk, anything like that throughout the month, you'll be in the running for the prizes, and we've got some all donated by local businesses.
Hobart Council also joining the cause, pushing to see more people on bikes after voting to draw $170,000 from its contingency fund, ensuring a bike lane trial can go ahead on Collins Street despite backlash.
I've been working with businesses for the last 6 months to get the best outcome for Collins Street, and I believe that the changes we are making will increase business turnover, visitation and brand awareness.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmanian News.
The sky is now the limit for 2 Tassie bodybuilders after strong results at a major national competition, walking away not only with trophies but invitations to go professional.
The weights were no doubt feeling a little lighter this morning for these relative newcomers to the bodybuilding scene after a weekend that could prove to be life-changing.
Sugar Shane Morris!
At the Natural Bodybuilding Australia National Titles.
I knew we were coming better than last year, but I wasn't sure how it was going to go.
Shane Morris and Cameron Sparks not only crowned winners in their categories, but handed their pro cards, an invitation to compete professionally.
6 months in the making, a lot of hard work behind the scenes. Now I can call myself a professional bodybuilder, I guess.
It's a huge coup for the pair, both only competing in their second tournaments.
Probably when I first started it was just more of, just to do it, see how it is, but now it's sort of turning into something more.
The pro card opens the door to turn this hobby into a job, here or around the world.
I get the opportunity to go back and compete in pro shows against other professional athletes and potentially get paid in the future, and opens the window to other federations.
As for what's next, they're both still weighing up the freshly unlocked options. Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News. Days after suffering their biggest loss in the club's history, the Jack Jumpers are going back to basics. To turn around the 33-point defeat, the reigning champions say building up the energy and grit will be the key.
Just being up and about, being confrontational and, just grinding away.
Just playing with a bit more energy, going back to trying to represent these people the best we can and get back to the grit and grind that we're used to seeing at the Jack Jumpers.
They head north to host the Sydney Kings at the Launceston Silverdome on Friday night. The Hurricanes will play finals of the T20 Spring Challenge after a last round victory over ACT. The Canes sharing the load while chasing down the Meteors' 122-run target with 2 overs to spare. Lizelle Lee is the comp's leading run scorer so far, despite being dismissed for a duck today. There are 2 pool matches still to play out before we know who they'll face in the semi. Northwest riders Kyron Bacon and Johnny Reinders are racing over in Spain this week for Team Australia in the FIM 6 Days Enduro. After day 2, they're both sitting inside the top 25 individually. Jonty is 3rd in his class. The Aussies are eyeing off a podium finish, currently 4th overall. And that's tonight in Sport, Murph, and I'm glad you're finally able to show your face again after the AFL Grand Final.
Mate, it's cricket season. Forget about all that other stuff. And, easy night for you tonight. You finished already. Break coming up right now, and then join Kaya Wicks after the break with the hardest job here at the station, the weather.
Good evening. We saw relatively settled conditions across the state today. Hobart 23, 19 in Launceston, Devonport 16 and 15 in Burnie. Further out, 24 at Strawn, Grove 23, 22 at Ooze, King Island 20, 18 for Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches, 17 recorded at St Helens, Maria Island and Smithton, Low Head 15 and 13 today in Lyweenie. Areas of low-level cloud were seen about northern Tasmania with more patchy cloud elsewhere. A frontal band lies to the west of the state as the low to mid-level cloud band crosses the southwestern coast of WA. Tomorrow, a deepening low will pass the central coast of SA as a cold front associated with the low extends to inland WA. North to northeasterly winds reaching up to 30 knots about the northwest, west to southwesterly swells building to 2 metres. Tomorrow, we have a strong wind warning for the far northwest coast. A shower or 2 in the south tomorrow, Hobart and Cygnet, both 21, 23 in New Norfolk. Possible showers in Launceston 23, a couple of showers for Devonport 19, showers likely for Campbelltown, 21's the top. Showers extending to the west, Burnie 17, 21 the high for Strawn, Smithton 19. Partly cloudy conditions in St Helens 19, possible showers for Swansea 22 and much the same in Fingal with 21. Forecast now for Friday, rain about the northwest extending statewide in the morning, although easing in the evening with possible heavy falls and thunderstorms about the north. Saturday, showers about the south, contracting to the west in the afternoon. And on Sunday, showers about the west. Now they will ease in the afternoon and it will be mainly fine elsewhere. Across the country tomorrow, possible storms in Alice Springs and Adelaide tomorrow, fine and sunny in Sydney 23, partly cloudy in Brisbane with 29 there. Mostly cloudy in Hobart right now, 20 degrees. Cloudy also in Launceston, 16, and mostly cloudy in Devonport with 14. Murph, you have finally returned, but you've arrived back to the office empty-handed with no sign of duty-free gifts. For the team, we are very disappointed.
Well, not my fault, Kai. Everything I brought back for you all was taken away, confiscated at the border. You'll see it on one of those shows next year. That's all our news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night.